Anyways, I think Easter is, of course, based on the absorption of the solstice.
What does Easter mean for you? Like internalize Easter.
It's spring.
What's the point?
It's coming out of winter and into the time when the winter thaw and stuff. For my family, growing up as a Lutheran kid in Wisconsin, it was. We would dye the eggs and then we would hide the actual hard-boiled eggs. I found out that's not as common a thing. Like a lot of people hide the plastic eggs filled with candy. Makes more sense. Like what kid wants to find a hard-boiled egg? I did. I was like, I can't wait to find all the eggs.
When I think you and I are about the same age. It was always hard-boiled eggs. There were no fake eggs filled with candy. It was you found a hard-boiled egg.
But why? Why did you want to find them?
Because it was Easter.
I also associate Easter with my clearest memory about Easter is unfortunately for my mom. Like I remember waking up with my brother and walking into the living room, and there was this piece of typewriter paper with Sharpie pen note written on it that said Easter has been postponed. I think because somebody misbehaved the previous day, there was a big family fight or something. So we woke up and we were like, "What the fuck does postponed mean?" And my brother was like, "I think it means canceled." I was like, "I think it means delayed. I think we're gonna have an Easter later." And then we had to force ourselves to go like, "Well, do we like Easter? Do we care if it ever arrives?"
Isn't the whole point of Easter that Jesus delayed it for 3 days before he?
Yeah, Easter. A good Easter is always postponed. Yes. How ironic.
Jesus can't be on time.
Yeah. That's like somebody ruining Christmas by giving birth. To Jesus.
Right. To Jesus. That's the only way to ruin it.
Or like if you're like, oh, Christmas is ruined because there's no room in this hotel. You know?
Or there's so much room, fuck it. Like... Why would you stay in a barn? There's room at the hotel.
All right. So I all right. Let's see what we got here. I don't think a lot. Oh, let me know in the booth if our special guest shows up.
We have a guest? Also, don't tell me who it is. I don't know that.
All right. Okay.
Dan?
Yeah.
Special secret? I'm a little drunk.
Okay. Oh, so to go back to my thing, it's Easter, so what are you relieved about?
Why is it about relief?
Because when the people saw Jesus come out of the cave, I'm sure they're like, whew.
No, I don't think it's relief. I think it's a crisis. I think
maybe for a few,
for the Romans and the Jews, and everyone else. Like, what does this mean? It's a moment of crisis.
I don't think we celebrate Easter through the eyes of the Romans.
No, we celebrate against the backdrop of the Romans. The idea that we helped a guy get killed, and then he's now where the fuck is he? We have to take on the word of a few people that he's risen. He actually rose from the dead, and that's not like. But only relief is not what's happening then.
For the good guys,
It's like what the fuck is happening right now? I don't. For the followers of Jesus, I don't think they felt relief. Other than they were like,
what do you think?
Oh shit!
Oh, well, what is that?
They killed our friend. Now he's gone. Now he's alive.
So surprise, pleasant surprise.
I don't think they said, "Oh, what a pleasure."
Okay, well, so Easter on Easter, you should ask yourself, what are you pleasantly surprised by?
I'm pleasantly surprised by you wearing bunny ears.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pleasantly surprised by the fact that this is a holiday that absolutely means nothing, including people that believe in the New Testament, the Old Testament, and any Testament. It's really it's simply a spring ritual.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Well, isn't that kind of uplifting that even the Holy Roman Empire, with all of its power, had to they're like, you know what, we can we can rule like by force in a lot of ways, but we can't keep these people on these equinoxes, these solstices. We can't keep them from knowing that the eggs are important. And so we got to just move Jesus's various thresholds.
The Roman Empire, I think about like 300 or 400 years before Caesar, like ruined the Republic. The Gauls, which is basically France. A bunch of barbarians, they called them, came in and took over and kicked a bunch of ass in Italy and went right to the gates of Rome. The geese flew off in the sky, and Romans worshipped the geese for hundreds of years after that because the geese went honk, 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 and warned Rome that the fucking Gauls were at the gates, and they hated dogs because the dogs didn't bark. So for a couple hundred years, Dan, there was a ritual. There was a ritual in Rome while Caesar was in Gaul, and while fucking like Pompey and Caesar and all, like a lot of fucking mates like Cato and Cicero and like people we know were there. They would.
Because Cato?
Cato, not Cato Kalin.
You said people we know.
There was a ritual held where dogs were murdered in the streets of Rome, and geese got to sit on golden pillows and watch it happen. So that's the backdrop of where Easter fucking happens, because it wasn't that. It was only about fucking 50 years later that Jesus was killed or was around and was dead.
Isn't it crazy that it wasn't too long ago when animals were like competitors to us? Like we were still kind of like on the same pop chart with them. So sort of like we were living in cities, but there was still like in the back of our heads there was like a threat that maybe we'd be living in Bear Town one day. They're like, better make the wall a little higher. Those fucking bears they got that look in their eye.
Rome was Wolf Town, so it's two wolves that fucking founded the goddamn thing, right?
Yeah, well, and Athens was just like a rocky crevice. It was just like people crawled up into some holes to get away from all the animals, Then they built the Acropolis on that. Like the whole foundation of Western civilization is just based on us being scared of animals and wondering why they're so much smarter than us. Like, why do they always know what to do? Like, God damn it! Every time we try to hunt something, the dogs get there first. It's a really uplifting story that we ended up like having them as pets and stuff. It's sad that we at one point were so like ticked off at them and like kind of still insecure that we had to like slaughter them and stuff. It's a little sad. All right. So anyways.